Okay, so tell me which method would you have choose? Would you have just tried to put the bottom together, or would you have multiplied all of it by the least common denominator? Bottom together. So this is going to give me a denominator of 9 times x minus 1. So the first fraction needs the x minus 1, and the second fraction needs the 9. So my numerator is still x minus 1 at the top, right? But then this, x minus 1 times x minus 1, is x squared minus 2x plus 1. That's what you get when you FOIL that out. And then this is 9 times 9, and this is a plus between it, so it's plus 81. Now I have this fraction. So I've got x minus 1 over x squared plus 2x plus 82 over 9 times x minus 1. Now I keep change flip. So I'm going to keep the x minus 1. I'm going to change this to multiplication, and I flip 9x minus 1 over x squared plus 2x plus 82. Multiply this straight across. You get 9 times x minus 1 squared over x squared plus 2x plus 82. If I expand x minus 1 squared, I get x squared minus 2x plus 1 again over x squared plus 2x plus, oh, that's 82. I said it and wrote it wrong. Then distribute here. They left, God bless you, they left the 9 out. I would have taken either answer. So either of these, oh wait, was it minus? Yep, it was minus, so this should have been minus. Hang on, sorry. The parentheses here was a minus, so this should have been a minus. Again, either answer. Either leave the 9 out, like it was over here, or distribute it in. Both are right. You're welcome. Did both of you need 6, or was there a different one? 5. Okay, what would you have done? The bottom 2 together? Okay, so I need to give this the least common denominator, which is x minus 5 and 2x minus 5. So the first fraction is missing the x minus 5, and the second fraction is missing the 2x minus 5. So x minus 5 times x minus 5, and then I'm going to come back over here and do x plus 2, 2x minus 5. The first one is like the perfect square, so I can use the shortcut, which is square the first one, double the product, so negative 10x, and then square the last one. If you don't remember it, just FOIL it out. The second one would be x times 2x, so 2x squared, x times negative 5, negative 5x, positive 4x, and negative 10. So that's that's the numerator of my denominator, okay? This takes over this part, and this takes over that part. So my x minus 5 over 2x minus 5 is still in the top. Then the left fraction became x squared minus 10x plus 25 over my x minus 5, 2x minus 5. There's a minus here, so be really careful because that's got to get carried down. And then the second fraction is that 2x squared minus, I didn't simplify this, 2x squared minus x minus 10 over x minus 5, 2x minus 5. Now, the denominators in the bottom are the same, so I'm going to combine that into 1. So my numerator is x minus 5 over 2x minus 5. And then the denominator, I'm going to get x squared minus 10x plus 25. This negative is going to go to all 3 terms. So negative 2x squared plus x plus 10 all over x minus 5 and 2x minus 5. And then comes the keep change flip. Well, this I can combine like terms in the top here. This becomes negative x squared minus 9x plus 35. So x minus 5 over 2x minus 5 from the numerator times, flip the bottom, x minus 5, 2x minus 5 over negative x squared minus 9x plus 25. The 2x minus 5's cancel. And my numerator has x minus 5 times x minus 5 over negative x squared minus 9x plus 25. Can get left like that, or it can get FOILed out. Jensen.
What would be the least common denominator for 8?
For 8. 2, is that a v? 2vu squared.
Okay, thank you.
No, 2vu squared. I said it, I think, right, but I wrote it wrong. 2v, right? Because there's a v. You're still writing that, Sophia, right? I didn't want to move it. You good? Okay. Yeah, 2v u squared and 2. Okay. So the greatest common factor is the numbers would be 2, and then the u and has to be raised to the second power, and the v would be to the first power.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would say on level with your test, the last one that we just did with number 5 is harder. So if that like totally threw you, it's good to know how to do it, but it hopefully will be a little bit easier.
Did you know number
9. Mm-hmm. Which way did you do it, Kevin? Separate? Yeah, so do the top and the bottom. Okay, so this was 36, right? In the top you made it 36. So 9 and 9 and 4 and 4. So 4x squared over 36 minus 225 over 36, which becomes 4x squared minus 225 over 36. Then the bottom is 5x. So this had to get multiplied by 5, and this had to get multiplied by x. So 20 minus x squared over 5x. Then we keep change flip. 4x squared minus 225 over 36 times 5x over 20 minus x squared. This is actually the difference of two squares, but it didn't factor it. Did they leave it like that, or did they put it together? Yeah, they just left it. Okay, this is actually the difference of two squares, because 15 is 225 squared, but they just multiplied it. It wouldn't simplify, so you can just multiply it straight across. It's like, what? Nothing canceled? Nope, nothing canceled.
On the test, can we leave it like that, or do we have to like actually?
No, you can leave it either way. Yep. Just realize if you're like comparing notes with somebody, you might have something different, then it doesn't mean it's wrong, right? Like if somebody actually multiplied that all the way out, it's still right. You just, and depending on the method that you use, you're going to get a different answer, but it's still right. Sure. Richard.
If it is cancelable on the test.
If that was factorable to where it would cancel, you'd need to factor it. Yeah. Go up? Like there? Yeah. You're welcome. Factored, so like what did you do? You take it a 2 on the top?
Yeah.
And then see if there's factors of positive 6 that add to 5. There are, right? So you can factor that further, 2x and x plus 1 plus 3. Bottom, you could take out a 3x squared and you get you get x minus 4. But nothing cancels. So if it canceled, you'd have to go further, but if it doesn't, you don't have to. So both of these would be right.
Would you have to do that like anyways?
To check.
See if anything happens?
Yeah. 8. I'm running out of space. 8. Okay. U squared over 2v over u squared plus v over 2. Okay, how did you do it?
The bottom, I tried getting the,
Okay, so just the bottom together and then
and then I
keep change flip. Okay, so the bottom would be 2u squared for its like denominator. This you'd have to multiply by 2, so I'd get 2v. This you'd have to multiply by u squared, so I'd get plus v u squared or u squared v. The order there doesn't matter.
It's 2v squared.
yeah, top left, it's a b squared.
Oh, this one squared?
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's 2v squared like that. Okay. So the numerator is u squared over 2v over 2v squared plus u squared v over 2u squared. Then we keep change flip it. So keep the top, flip the bottom. If you could cross cancel from here, you would, like the 2's. The u's, it's a u and a v in one corner, and the top left, bottom right, it's u's, and they're not on both of the ones in the bottom. So now we're just going to multiply straight across. U to the 4th over v times 2v squared u squared v would be 2v to the 3rd plus u squared v to the 2nd. So the only thing that got canceled there was that 2.
So here you can like simplify the u squared and the u squared as well.
No, because it's not on this term. Remember, it's like if it's a sum or a difference, you can't just cancel into part of it.
What would be the least common denominator for 10?
10
Because there's an x, like in the problem.
x squared. So 3x squared and then x plus 1. So if you did all of it, you mean?
Yeah.
It would be 3x squared and then x plus 1.
Okay. Thank you.
So the first denominator, the x squared, well, you get the 3, you'd get 1x. This would have to be multiplied by x and then x plus 1. And then the second one, you have the x squared, but you don't have the 3 or the x plus 1. The bottom left, you'd need the 3x squared. And the bottom right, you'd need the 3x squared again.
Thank you.
And then all the denominators will be gone. You're welcome. Any other questions on the complex fractions? Okay, so test-wise, and again, test is Tuesday, sorry. Tuesday. Testing days are Tuesdays and Thursdays. God bless you this semester. God bless you. It's going to have the radicals. Okay, so you're going to have to simplify, you're going to have to multiply, you're going to have to rationalize. They're kind of going to get built in there. It's going to have the negative exponents. Where you're going to move anything that's got a negative. Okay, so all of that was on your quiz and again on the test. So if you want to review those things, there's 2 ways to do it. It's also on your review for the homework, but those are good reviews. Then comes the simplifying. Well, factoring completely, I guess, came first. Factor completely, which can be factoring out a greatest common factor, difference of 2 squares, perfect square trinomial, factor by grouping, or the first and last. So it could be any of that stuff, and it would be mixed into the stuff that comes later too. Then we're going to simplify rational expressions, which basically just means factor and simplify fractions. We're going to multiply and divide rational expressions, and you're going to add and subtract rational expressions. And then the last thing is the complex fraction. Those are the topics. So really it goes back to a little bit in P2. P4 was your factoring. P5 was all the rational expressions. 15 questions, okay? And you'll have the whole class period. Yes, Sam. Sure. What the PDF that's on Canvas, okay? The answers are there. I want you to work through as much as you can over the weekend so that on Monday I can go over questions on it, okay? That's your goal. It starts with the negative exponents. It gets into factoring. There's a lot of factoring practice on here, okay? Obviously, not all of those questions are going to be on your test. It's going to be a pick of one thing or another. And it goes into the multiplying, it goes into rationalizing, it goes into multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting, and then complex fractions. There's like one question on the third page, don't forget it, right? It's your rationalizing one. And then they're in weird spots. So just make sure you look for the whole page. Okay, the last page ends with this. So just make sure that you've gone through all of it. And then the solutions are already there. And the solutions are at the end of the video, okay, for these. I would strongly recommend that you export it. Because, it's hard to answer questions and also be checking at the same time. I checked your first slide. I got probably midway through this slide. If you got it right, I put a check. If you didn't, I tried to figure out what you were doing. But make sure that you're checking your work, okay? Like I said, the solutions are on the end of the video. This is that first slide. The first one would have been x over 3, and the second one should have been x over x minus 1. Overall decent on these. Some of you are still way off. If you're way off, you need to get help either from me or somebody else. I don't care who it is or what it is, but you've got to seek out some help. Can't go into this blind. All right, this is the second one. It should have been x plus 3, x minus 2 over x squared, x plus 2 squared. Then this one or this one is fine. So the negative can be out front, or the negative could get distributed in. X squared plus 14x plus 2. So negative on the front, or negative distributed in negative x. That's if you distribute it in. Or put it on the front and it's a negative, and then the x squared minus 14x minus 2 in the top. All over x times x plus 6. Remember, you can keep it in factored form, okay? Or you could distribute that x. It's an extra step you don't need to do, so you could keep it in factored form. And then the last slide, you could either have distributed the negative, so it's negative 2x squared plus 24x minus 1 over 9 minus x, 9 plus x. Or the negative could be out front, and then the top is a positive 2x squared, a negative 24x, and a positive 1. And then that last one should have been x plus 1 and 3 times x plus 2. So again, remember your homework is to do the review and check your answers while you're doing it so that you know what you need help with on Monday. Richard.